While Karachi itself is a relatively new city with little character, it is surrounded by culture and history. Chowkundi Tombs. Just about 27 kilometers out of Karachi lies the mysterious cluster of centuries-old graves dating back to the 16th and 18th century AD. Not much is known about them, but their intricate carvings and floral details surely point out to the presence of a prosperous community in the area. The graves of men and women are distinguished by the designs and carvings. The floral patterns dominating the graves of the females and horses carved on those of the males. Thatta and Makli are all within 100 kilometers from Karachi. Thatta and Makli are all a day's trip from Karachi in the air-conditioned coaches. And for those looking for relaxation on the way, a trip can be arranged to the calm and quiet Kinjer Lake, encompassing an area of 65 square kilometers with its comfortable cabanas, with well-appointed air-conditioned rooms, baths and boats. The lake complex also provides a full-fledged restaurant service, and guests may bring in their catch from the lake to be prepared by the kitchen staff. Thatta also has one of the most beautiful mosques of the subcontinent, built by the Mughal Emperor Shah Jahan in the mid-17th century. A massive brick structure, the Shah Jahan's mosque has 93 domes designed to provide perfect acoustic to carry the voice of the prayer leader to all parts of the huge mosque. It is an architectural wonder. The pleasing blue and white tiles galore are attractively and elaborately displayed in this mosque, which in many ways is quite different from the several magnificent mosques built in the subcontinent by the Mughals. Makli. The glory that was Thatta is evident from the large and now abandoned graveyard on the hills of Makli, spread over almost 15 square kilometers, perhaps the largest graveyard in the world. It is the common resting place of 1 million, both nobles and commoners. The tombs of the rich are, however, distinguished by the exquisite works of art with delicately carved patterns and designs, mostly in sandstone. Makli is only 98 kilometers east of Karachi on the Karachi-Thatta highway, just a little short of Thatta. After a day-long trip back to Karachi for an overnight stay. Second day. Fly to Mohenjo-daro for a day-long excursion, about an hour's flight from PIA's house base in Karachi. About 563 kilometers from Karachi on the superhighway lies Mohenjo-daro, the Mound of the Dead, on the west bank of River Indus in Sindh. The remains of one of the earliest and most developed urban civilizations of the ancient world have been found here. Discovered in 1922, Mohenjo-daro was once a metropolis of great importance, forming part of the Indus Valley civilization. This prehistoric civilization flourished some 4,500 years ago. The archaeological excavations dug up here place Mohenjo-daro among the most spectacular ancient cities of the world. It had mud brick and baked brick buildings, an elaborate covered drainage system with soak pits for disposal bins, a large state granary, a spacious pillared hall, a college of priests, a large and imposing building, probably a palace, and a citadel mound which incorporates in its margin a system of solid burnt brick towers. The Archaeological Museum at Mohenjo-daro is definitely worth a visit. Later returned to Karachi. Third day. Transfer to airport. Departure for Lahore. In the afternoon, tour of Lahore city. In every sense of the word, but geographical, Lahore, the capital city of the Punjab, the fabled land of 5 rivers, is the heart of the country. Lahore is a city rooted in history and traditions, art and culture, festivity and festivals. Poetry and literature have flourished here for hundreds of years, and it has seen the rise and fall of many empires, both indigenous and foreign. Zamzama. Just outside the Lahore Museum stands the famous cannon manufactured in 1757. The cannon, which is called by the locals as Zamzama, was first used in a battle outside Delhi Gate over 2 centuries ago and was later immortalized by the British writer Rudyard Kipling as the Kim's gun. Lahore has a number of major departmental stores, but do not forget to visit the old Anarkali Bazaar, whose shops offer a whole range of local handicrafts from delicately embroidered shawls to the most intricately woven carpets in various designs, shades and hues. While the city itself is well over 1,000 years old and maybe older, it was first conquered by the Muslims in the 11th century when Sultan Mahmud of Ghazni invaded the subcontinent through the legendary Khyber Pass. There are luxury hotels and posh restaurants side by side with vendors dealing in inexpensive local delights. You can order a gourmet meal or enjoy spicy local delicacies from roadside impromptu snack bars and food outlets. You can also have sugarcane juice, carrot juice, apple juice or orange juice. The most popular of the Mughal monuments, however, are the famous Shalimar Gardens just outside the city. Spread over 40 acres of beautifully landscaped and terraced gardens, the Shalimar was laid out during the reign of Emperor Shah Jahan more than 3 centuries ago. It has a central water channel over 600 meters long, feeding hundreds of fountains and many large and small decorative pools. The graceful lawns and attractive flower beds are beautifully laid out in pleasing patterns on the 3 main terraces of the gardens, which boast of a large variety of exotic plants and trees surrounding the numerous marble pavilions which were erected to provide shade and comfort to the princesses and princesses. Overnight stay at Lahore. 4th day. Today, relive Mughal times on an all-day tour of Lahore. First, a trip to the 17th century Badshahi Mosque. Emperor Aurangzeb, the last of the great Mughal emperors, also built the last but the most prominent architectural monument of Lahore, the famous Badshahi Mosque with a giant courtyard, the largest in any mosque in the world. The unusual symmetry of the 3 huge white marble domes of the mosque is a tribute to the perfectionist qualities of the masons of the day. Just outside the main entrance of the mosque, in a simple but impressively built mausoleum, lies buried the poet-philosopher of Pakistan, Dr. Muhammad Iqbal. It was he who first visualized an independent state for the Muslims of the South Asian subcontinent. Lahore Fort, characteristically Mughal in its architectural style, one of the earliest buildings of Lahore, dates back to 1566 AD, the time when Akbar the Great made Lahore his seat of government for 15 years. The palace fort, along with its royal pavilions, is scintillated with chivalry, pageantry and art for which the Mughal era was famous. The fort was built in 3 distinct phases. From Akbar's time survived the walls in the east and the south, the inner wall on the north and the eastern gate. After Akbar's death, the pleasure-loving Jahangir added another beautiful palace, now known as Jahangir's quadrangle. Jahangir's successor Shah Jahan brought to the fort his genius for the building and his flair for magnificence. His period has been dubbed the Reign of Marble. His passion for that medium is best evidenced in the graceful Diwan-e-Khas, or hall of private audience. His exquisite Sheesh Mahal Palace of Mirrors was built by Emperor Shah Jahan. The interior walls of Sheesh Mahal are inlaid with thousands of pieces of reflecting glass, throwing as many images of the dancing girls. Jahangir's majestic mausoleum stands on the right bank of River Ravi, about 8 kilometers northwest of Lahore. Originally, the garden surrounding the mausoleum belonged to his wife, Queen Noor Jahan. The mausoleum was built in 1637 AD by Emperor Jahangir's son, Shah Jahan. Near Jahangir's mausoleum lies buried his empress, Noor Jahan. Noor Jahan, meaning light of the world, was taken as a captive to Delhi on the death of her husband. There she was wooed and won by Jahangir and became his empress in 1611. On the far side of the mall near Zamzama is the Lahore Museum, where lie relics of the rich cultural heritage of Lahore. The rare collection of Mughal paintings, statues of Buddha in various attitudes, including the priceless fasting Buddha. Examples of Gandhara sculpture and evidences reflecting the successive stages of the Oriental civilization make a visit to the Lahore Museum a rewarding experience. At one end of the mall stands the university, perhaps the largest center of education in Asia. The city was built a new campus in the quieter environments on the canal bank, but the old university buildings are still functioning. Students from all over Pakistan come here to receive education. 5th day. Transfer to airport. Departure to Islamabad. From Lahore, the federal capital Islamabad is barely half an hour by a PIA jet. Before moving on to the other historical sites of Pakistan, take a break to witness the most modern city of Pakistan, Islamabad. In sharp contrast to the ancient and historical cities and towns of Pakistan, the federal capital Islamabad is a new city modeled on the pattern of many new and modern Western capitals. Located on the Peshawar plateau and lying at the foothill of the picturesque Margala range, Islamabad is a picture of scenic serenity. It was chosen in 1959 as the site of the new capital. The lush green Peshawar plateau, surrounded by the magnificent Margala hills, provide an ideal setting for a new capital. Perched halfway up the Margala hills, you can get the best bird's-eye view of Islamabad. The park is laid out with picnic areas, paths, gardens, viewing points and terraces. The enormous Shah Faisal Mosque is located at the foot of the Margala Hills. Superbly sited, the mosque represents an 8-faceted desert tent supported on 4 giant concrete girders and surrounded by 4 90 meters high concrete minarets which look like rockets. Is being completed at a cost of $50 million, most of which has been donated by Saudi Arabia. It is said to be one of the biggest mosques in the world, capable of accommodating 100,000 devotees at a time. While Islamabad boasts of the graceful presidency, the imposing Parliament House, and such other complexes as the National Museum and the State Bank of Pakistan, the most striking landmark of this capital city remains undoubtedly the Grand Faisal Mosque. The most pleasing view of Islamabad is from the Shakarpariya hills with the green lawns, cascading waterfalls, attractive flower beds and wooded walkways. An equally fascinating view from the Shakarpariya hills is that of the beautiful Rawal Lake spread over 9 square kilometers with a 100 feet high dam holding back the silvery sweet water. The lake is an artificial reservoir to store water for the twin cities of Islamabad and Rawalpindi. The lake and its surrounding area have been developed into a popular picnic spot with a rest house, a snack bar and a strategic viewpoint. The Rawal Lake is also an angler's delight. Fishing is permissible with a permit obtainable against a nominal payment. In the afternoon, travel back in time on an excursion to Taxila, the 2,500-year-old excavated city of the Greco-Buddhist Gandhara civilization. Taxila is only about 30 kilometers from Rawalpindi, a little off the main highway. The Taxila Museum is a must for any visitor to this historic city. The Archaeological Museum has a large and rich collection of relics, coins and jewelry, of gold and silver, and of course, the famous and invaluable Gandhara sculpture, so delicately and exquisitely crafted by a people who knew the value of life and learning. It is here that you find endless images of Buddha. Taxila is one of the ancient sites in Pakistan which represents the rich cultural heritage of the country. Lying in the valley of Haro, the city is more than 2,000 years old. The excavations at Taxila take you back 2,500 years into the world of Buddha, Alexander, Ashoka, and of course the Emperor Kanishka, whose imprints are visible to this day. It is here that the world's most interesting civilizations took roots. Alexander the Great marched through the northern passes and valleys, conquering Taxila in 327 BC. The Mauryas were next to conquer Taxila, which reached its zenith under the great Ashoka. The Indo-Greek descendants of Alexander followed thereafter, who later gave way to the great Kushan dynasty almost at the turn of the 1st century AD. This was the most glorious period of Gandhara, when Taxila became a great center of learning, art and philosophy. Pilgrims came here from as far away as China and Greece in the pursuit of learning. The fall of Taxila took place at the hands of the White Huns, who invaded the area in the 5th century AD and thus brought to an end a series of remarkable civilizations that had flourished here for many centuries. The ruins of Taxila bear testimony to the existence of 3 distinct cities. Fortunately, they are in a reasonably good state of preservation. The earliest of the 3 dates back to the 6th century BC, while the next one was built in the 2nd century BC. Almost 2,500 years later, you can still walk down the wide avenues and streets and step into the well-designed houses. The 3rd city, built in the 1st century AD, perhaps by the Kushan kings. After visiting Taxila, you will stay an overnight at Rawalpindi. 6th day. Transfer to airport. Morning flight to Peshawar. Peshawar is conveniently linked with the rest of the country by road, rail and air. PIA provides a daily service with the major cities of the country, with the southernmost city of Karachi less than 2 hours away. The city also offers deluxe hotel facility and inexpensive but comfortable smaller hotels for the budget conscious. Peshawar is a city of many splendors. It is a city of the brave. It is embedded in history, having been in existence as far back as 400 years BC. Over the centuries, the inhabitants of Peshawar have witnessed the march of many conquerors, some ruthless, some brave and magnanimous. It is a city of legends and of folklore. For any visitor to Peshawar, Qissa Khawani is an unavoidable haunt. It retains all the romanticism and chivalry that have been the hallmark of the area. Tribesmen and traders gather here to exchange news and anecdotes, to haggle and bargain, while the fierce but friendly, warm and hospitable Pathans chatter and gossip between cups of sweet tea. The bazaars of Peshawar are a buyer's delight. The road west of Peshawar leads up to the historic and immortal Khyber. The Khyber Pass bears many remnants of the numerous invasions dating back to many centuries. Proud, rugged and fierce as they may appear, Pathans inhabiting this age-old city are a very hospitable people. Peshawar also retains much of its traditions, old grandeur and character, having been in the path of major invasions of the subcontinent. The Pathan uses the gun both as a source of livelihood and as an instrument of defense and revenge. The village of Darra Adam Khail, about an hour's drive out of Peshawar, can well boast of the largest domestic ordnance industry in the world. A visit to Peshawar will be incomplete without a visit to the Peshawar Museum, which was founded at the turn of the present century. The museum has a particularly rich and rare collection of antiquities relating to Gandhara civilizations. Seventh day. Departure by road to Swat mist-shadowed veil of magnificent scenic beauty with the fabled past. The journey takes about 5 hours. En route visit Takhti-Bahi, the ruins of an ancient Buddhist monastery dating back from the 2nd to the 5th centuries AD. There is the Takhti-Bahi, a Buddhist monastery 9 miles northwest of Mardan on the road to Swat. Near Takhti-Bahi is the most impressive and complete Buddhist monastery in Pakistan. The main buildings of the Takhti-Bahi complex are the monastery and stupas founded in the 1st century AD and abandoned in the 6th century. Surrounding the monastery on the ridge above it are the ruins of private houses, some of them 3 stories high. After visiting Takhti-Bahi, you can continue up to Swat by road. After reaching Swat, transfer to a hotel for an overnight stay. 8th day. The lush green valley of Swat, with its rushing torrents, icy cold lakes, fruit-laden orchards and flower-decked slopes, is ideal for holidaymakers intent on relaxation. It has a rich historical past too. Swat was once the cradle of Buddhism, of all its schools, little vehicle, great vehicle, and the esoteric sects. This is where 1,400 monasteries flourished. It was the home of the famous Gandhara school of sculpture, which was an expression of Greco-Roman form in the local Buddhist tradition. The beauty that is Pakistan is not just confined to the country's mountainous north. South of the Gilgit Valley and north of Peshawar, across the high Malakand Pass, is the lush green valley of Swat, which stretches out towards the Hindu Kush range of mountains. The valley of Swat is the Udayana, or the garden of the ancient Hindu epics, the name given to this land of unsurpassable beauty. It is here that Alexander the Great encountered opposing armies before marching down to the subcontinental plains. Swat Valley has been aptly described as a scenic wonderland. Swat is one of those places that attract visitors the year round with its invigorating climate, with flowers and fruits blossoming almost the year round. Situated at an elevation of 3,200 feet above the sea level, the almost quiet and placid Swat River offers an abundance of trout, the season for which starts in April. Saidu Sharif is the administrative headquarters of Swat. The valley is, however, dotted with unbelievably attractive picnic and camping spots. Mingora, Murghazar, Madain, Bahrain and Kalam are some of these beautiful spots. Overnight stay at Swat. 9th day, transfer to airport. PIA provides a regular air service to Swat from Peshawar and Islamabad. Flight to Islamabad and onward destination. Besides being deep-rooted in history, Pakistan is most modern in handicrafts. You can buy souvenirs from various markets located at convenient spots in Karachi and Lahore. The exotic floral patterns on brass and silver, beautiful hand-painted clay pottery. The superb craftsmanship on marble and onyx, the exquisite color galore on hand-painted camel hide lamps, all these to remind you of the artisans of Pakistan.
The 13,200 feet high Shandur Pass in the extreme north of Pakistan connects Chitral with Kilkit. It links the Hindu Kush with the Karakorams. The pass welcomes all visitors with open arms. The pass lies some 225 kilometers from Chitral town, or 13 hours of journey in a jeep in the lap of craggy mountains, the tops of which are perennially covered with snow. The meltwaters of numerous glaciers on the environs of the mountains feed the Shandur Lake. The lake is situated almost on the top of the pass, which is very unusual. Shandur is a wide open pass, so wide that some people say that it is more of a plateau than a pass. The pass is steeped in history. The first polo tournament between the teams of Gilgit and Chitral was played in 1933. then on, it has been played off and on, but since 1982, when it became a part of the Shandur festival, it has been played regularly. Most of the people who are staying in the tents have come only to witness the polo match, which is the most important event of the Shandur festival. At 13,200 feet high, the polo ground in Shandur is the highest polo ground in the world. Vehicles laden with provision and tourists keep arriving into the tentage village almost the whole day long from all parts of the world. Pakistan International Airlines Tours promotion also participates with full vigor. The presence of PIA is a source of inspiration for the tourists. An open-air bazaar of a makeshift nature at Shandur has come up. Here, everything that the tourists may need is sold. Tentage village at the great height of Shandur is both interesting and unusual. It is probably the highest tentage village in the world. Some travelers have reached the great heights of the Shandur Pass on the motorbikes. The waters of the lake are being made full use of by two yachters. Since the waters of the lake are calm, they are ideal for yachting. The crowd which has gathered to see the polo tournament is growing every moment. The traditional dances of Chitral add color to the occasion. The dances denote happiness.
Who has told you about the Shandur Mela?
It's very, very nice because there are so many people and it's a great festival for the polo.
What is the best thing you have seen in this Mela?
I think it's the music with the scoot of Chitral.
That was PIA's audiovisual team having a word with two foreign tourists. The tourist will carry priceless memories of their stay at Shandur in the tentage village. The PIA crew, like everyone else, is waiting anxiously for the match to begin.
Where are you from?
I'm from Holland.
Why are you in Pakistan?
I visit Pakistan now for 1.5 months just to enjoy Pakistan. I like it very much. The northern areas are fantastic in Pakistan.
What is the best thing you have seen in this Shandur festival?
The polo.
What about all these arrangements that are made of for the foreigners?
Well, not only for the foreigners, I think it's fantastic. I think the whole atmosphere with the camps, the tents and everything it's very nice. Good atmosphere.
The motley crowd which has gathered here from all parts of Pakistan, particularly from the districts of Chitral and Gilgit, is looking forward to an exciting match. The umpire moves onto the field to set the ball rolling. Even though the match which is being played between the B teams of Gilgit and Chitral, yet the match excites a lot of interest. After all, they are the second best teams, if not the best. The musicians provide lively music on traditional instruments to brighten up the atmosphere.
Where are you from?
England.
How do you like it?
Yeah, I like it very much, very much. It's good.
What is the best thing you have seen over there?
In Shandur Festival, the Polo, without a doubt.
Who told you about the Shandur Festival?
I think I read it in a book.
That's good. Do you like it or not?
Yeah, it's been good.
What is the good thing you have seen over there?
I would say the scenery.
Where are you from?
I'm Angrezi.
You are from England. Well, since how many days you have been in Pakistan?
2 hafta.
Do you like this festival?
Shandur bahut acha hai.
All the residents of the tentage village are bracing up for the great event, the polo match. A few VVIPs are arriving in their helicopters at Shandur.
Do you have any such experience that will bring you back to Shandur in the next year?
Definitely, yeah. Its surroundings are just out of this world, and the polo's fun. Most people haven't seen polo matches before, so it's a rare treat, yeah.
The venue of the historic match, the crowning event of the 3-day Shandur festival from 4 July to 7 July 1994. Teams arrive in the polo ground with great fanfare.
की 3 टीमें यहाँ शिरकत कर रही हैं। एक नार्दर्न लाइट इन्फेंट्री की टीम है, पुलिस की टीम है, उसके बाद PWE की टीम है। यहाँ पर जो हम खेल रहे हैं वो गिलगित की तरफ से खेल रहे हैं। यहाँ पर बहुत पहले से ये टूर्नामेंट मुनक़िद होता था।
नई टीम भी शामिल हुई थी
इसमें 1990 में यहाँ पर PIA की टीम आई थी। उस वक़्त वज़ीर आज़म पाकिस्तान मुहतरमा बेनज़ीर भुट्टो साहिबा खुद तशरीफ़ लाई, जिसकी वजह से यहाँ रौनक में इजाफा हो गया और लोगों में बड़ी खुशी हो गई कि उन्होंने PIA की टीम को भी यहाँ दावत दिया। वो आगे उन्होंने भी अच्छे हमारे साथ यहाँ मैच खेला।
Everyone around is preparing to greet the Prime Minister of Pakistan, who will grace the occasion by her presence at Shandur. The Prime Minister's helicopter is about to land. Mr. Aftab Ahmed Sherpao, Chief Minister Sarhad, has come specially to see the Shandur festival and the polo match. MD PIA, Air Vice Marshal Farooq Umar too has flown in to see the match and savor the atmosphere at Shandur festival. Federal Minister for Information, Mr. Khalid Kharal, too has come to see the match. Prime Minister Benazir Bhutto's helicopter has landed close to the polo ground. The Prime Minister's motorcade is heading towards the polo ground. A hand glider too is heading towards the polo ground to welcome the Prime Minister. The spectators are overjoyed to see the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister, Benazir Bhutto, is going towards the saluting dais. A guard of honor registers the arrival of the Prime Minister at Shandur in a very impressive manner. There is an estimated crowd of 15 to 20,000 who is here to witness the match. Mr. Aftab Shaban Mirani, Federal Minister for Defense, is among the spectators. The ceremonial band fills the air of Shandur with welcome strains of music. Another hand glider lands close to the Prime Minister. His skill in landing on exact spots is legendary. The two successful hand gliders are on their way to pay their respects to the Prime Minister, who has appreciated their skill. Traditional dances to welcome the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister gives permission for the match to begin. The Chitral Scouts are in red shirts, the Gilgit Scouts are in green shirts. Chitral team at first seems to have a better control of the ball. Then on, the initiative passes on to Gilgit. Some very well executed shots make the game appear exciting. One chakkar after another doesn't seem to exhaust either the horses or the players. It is rare for a player to fall down on the ground, but neither the horse nor the player is hurt. The Gilgit team, because of the better control of the ball and some very good passes, eventually wins. The victory dance. There is happiness and joy all over. Some foreigners too are rejoicing. The Prime Minister gives away the Grand Cup. There are other prizes too. During her speech, Prime Minister Benazir Bhutto says that work on Lawari Tunnel, which will fling open the gates of prosperity on Chitral, will commence. More electricity will be provided. Rest houses and places for tourists to stay in will be constructed at Garm Chashma, Bir Mukhlash, Darosh, and other spots so that people can see for themselves what a beautiful place Chitral really is. Shandur Festival 1994 was a memorable event. Shandur at one time was a lonesome place. No one could have imagined that an event of such a big magnitude will ever take place here.
Pakistan International's Air Safari program, which started about 1 year back, is a unique experience to the mountain top of the world called the roof of the world. In this 1 hour and 45 minutes Air Safari time, a 737 with all its comfort gets airborne from Islamabad and takes the tourists to the killer mountain Nanga Parbat, the mountain wall which is adjacent to the border of China, comprising the great Mount K2, the Broad Peak, the Gashabrum 3, the Gashabrum 4, the Hidden Peak, Mashabrum, Trangotaz, Rakaposhi, and the world's largest glaciers, the Biafo Glacier, the Hisper Glacier, the Gandoro Glacier, which lie under the base of a place called Concordia, where legend has it that it's the dwelling place of the mountain gods. These are the largest glaciers outside the polar region of the world. These plus many other attractions which lie in the valley of the Indus River, the beautiful scenic Diosai Plain, the Kachura Lake, Lake Saif al-Maluk, Kunhar River, Indus River, and much, much more has been put into one solid air safari worth 1 hour and 45 minutes, which is meant to magnetize the tourists who have not seen Pakistan, the tourists from Japan, the tourists from Europe, the tourists from America. Anybody who has not been on PIA's air safari has not really seen the true worth of northern Pakistan. Air safari will soon be followed by moonlit night safari, which is already under trial, and the air safari of Pakistan International Airlines is beyond comparison. The air safari of Nepal, the air safari of Sri Lanka are no comparison to PIA's air safari. All tourists of the world, all adventure tourist operators may like to try out and see for themselves what greatness lies within the air safari of Pakistan. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum and good morning to you. This is your Captain Adil on behalf of Pakistan International, Managing Director of PIA, Air Marshal Farooq Umar. I welcome you aboard the Karakoram Safari, Pakistan 935. We shall be flying at an altitude of 21,000 feet up to 28,500 feet depending on the terrain, at a ground speed of about 350 to 450 statute miles, covering a total distance of about 630 statute miles, which is equal to about 1,000 kilometers, in about an hour and 45 minutes. I sincerely hope that you will be looked after. Your co-pilot today is First Officer Tariq Sayed, cabin crew under the supervision of Senior Purser Mansoor. I'm sure they'll all do their best to look after you and to make your journey comfortable. Thank you very much for flying PIA, and I sincerely hope that you'll enjoy the trip with us. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's a bright, wintry morning. We have just taken off from Islamabad. The visibility is very fine and very good. For the next 1 hour and 45 minutes, you will be with us on our air safari to the Karakorams. Therefore, ladies and gentlemen, please sit back and relax. Faisal Mosque, one of the biggest in the world, presents a lovely view against the backdrop of hills, as you can see on your left. We are now flying at an altitude of 5,000 feet. We will be maintaining a flying speed so as to be able to reach a reasonable altitude from where you can have a better view of the Margala range, which we will be crossing in the next 30 seconds or so. The range will be running northeast, southwest. Climbing through 7,000 feet altitude, maintaining a climbing speed of 250 knots indicated airspeed. Passengers on the left can see the Margala range, a full view of the Margala range. Passengers on the right hand can also see the range as it is crossing beneath us, northeast, southwest. climbing through an altitude of 20,000 feet now. We are going to accelerate to something like 400 knots, which is equal to 800 kilometers per hour, and later accelerate further to 450 knots or so as we level off at our level of altitude, and this equals a speed of about 900 kilometers per hour. Passengers on the right-hand side in the next 10 seconds or so will be able to catch a glimpse of the famous Lake Saif al-Malook as we will be approaching it from the town of Naran. Lake Saif al-Malook is located at an altitude of 10,500 feet. It involves a trekking of about 6 miles from the town of Naran to reach it. Passengers on the right can clearly see Lake Saif al-Malook now. And here we would like to show you how Lake Saif al-Malook appears from the ground. The film was shot months before in summer. The lake lies in a sleepy green meadow in the lap of the 17,365 feet high Malika Parbat, called the Queen Mountain. And it is so called because it has indeed a very, very pretty face. Passengers on the left can see the great Nanga Parbat, westernmost mountain of the Himalayan range. The peak is 26,660 feet high. Nanga Parbat means the naked mountain. It is so called because some of its slopes are so steep that even snow cannot stay on the sides, and hence leads to barrenness, thus naked mountain. You are flying almost abreast of the mountain itself. The mountain is also called the Killer Mountain because more people have died in making attempts to conquer it than those who have actually succeeded in reaching the top of the mountain. We are going to put on a left-hand turn, and as we do so, you will see the Rupal side of the great Nanga Parbat. Also clearly visible is the silver saddle which is located just next to the top. Just under your wing and on the skyline, you have the full view of the K2 range of mountains. K2, with a height of 28,250 feet, is the second highest peak in the world and is located on the border between Pakistan and China. Below, you can see the great mountain once again. Stands out like a giant. Beyond the mountain is the Gashabram range. Passengers on the right can also clearly see the Baltoro Glacier and the Concordia, where the big glaciers meet at the base of the Broad Peak. Broad Peak is 26,400 feet high. It's a very rare sight. And Concordia, the meeting place of the world's largest glaciers outside the Polo region, are now visible from here. It is one of the most unusual sights of the world. Over here, in a space of about 25 kilometers or so, one finds 10 of the world's 30th highest peaks. We are now flying over the Swat Valley. Passengers on the right can see the Indus River. If you look carefully, you will see coming ahead of you the famous tourist resort called Shangri-La. Shangri-La is a beautiful spot. The view is breathtaking. Shangri-La is located at a distance of 32 kilometers by road from Sakardu. We would like to show you through a film shot how Shangri-La looks like from the ground. The resort has been built around a lake called the Kachura Lake. The lake is almost circular in shape, and around the lake are sited beautiful cabins and huts which look very, very colorful. And there is tremendous and beautiful flora and fauna, some of which is being shown on the screen. All types of fruit and ornamental trees have been also planted around the lake to make it look attractive, and it appears like heaven on earth. What we are seeing now is the Rakaposhi range. Passengers on the right will start to see the Dastagil Sar and the Kunan Chish, plus many more peaks which are less significant as compared to the ones that we have seen a few minutes back. All of them, however, are visible to you already on the right-hand side. As we enter the Indus Valley, we will start to lose our altitude from 26,500 feet. We will gradually come down to about 22,000 feet or thereabouts. Our speed at the moment remains at 500 miles an hour at this particular altitude itself, and this is equal to about 900 kilometers or so. Although passengers cannot see it, I have right in front of me, looming large, the famous Rakaposhi range. It is a beautiful and a breathtaking view of the Rakaposhi mountain itself. You can see a concert of clouds building up. Slowly and gradually the clouds are rising. Let us take a view through a film shot taken earlier of the Rakaposhi from the ground. Rakaposhi, the southernmost peak of the Karakoram range, towers above the Gilgit Valley. The peak looms large above the Gilgit Valley itself, as you can see very, very clearly. Now turning left, and during the turn the passengers on the right hand side will be able to see the Rakaposhi mountain top. now going to start entering the Indus Valley. On the right-hand side, you can see the Gilgit Valley. The Gilgit city will also be clearly visible to you. If you see carefully, you can see in the north a green patch at the base of the Rocky Mountain. We are at the moment steering a left heading 230 degrees. That means southwestern heading. And we are going to enter into the area of Chalas. We will be able to point out to the left-hand passengers the Chalas Valley itself. And for the passengers on the right, if you see the skyline, that is where the sky meets the mountains, you will see the snow. The snow-capped mountains which form part of the Hindu Kush range. On the extreme right beyond that is the famous Pamir range. We are now descending to a height of 22,000 feet again. And this is 22,000 feet above mean sea level. And while doing so, we are maintaining a speed of 450 miles an hour. And as we proceed further, passengers on the right-hand side can have a much clearer view of the Hindu Kush range of mountains on the skyline. The tallest peak that you can see is the Tijmir, which has a height of 25,230 feet. Ladies and gentlemen, what we have been seeing below and around us for the last over 1 hour and 15 minutes or so indicates a very big hand of the great Creator. It indicates the very big force that has created this solar system, this universe, this galaxy, and our planet Earth. Passengers on the right-hand side can now clearly see the wide rocky catchment area of the famous Tarbela Dam. The deep blue sky and the water down below reminds a person of the Mediterranean coast. You will be able to see the largest earth-filled dam, the largest earth-filled dam in the world, the great Tarbela Dam. Passengers on the left will be the first to catch a glimpse of the Margala range, again running northeast, southwest. And if you look carefully, you will be able to see beyond the Margala range the Rawal Lake, although a bit hazy now because of the position of the sun. Nevertheless, the lake itself is clearly visible across the Margala hill features. Ladies and gentlemen, we are now descending rapidly through an altitude of 5,000 feet, and the aircraft is being positioned for a safe landing in a few minutes from now. I wish you the best of luck and a very pleasant day. Thank you for flying with us over the rooftop of the world, over the great Karakoram Air Safari. Best of luck. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, inshallah, we shall soon be landing at Islamabad's International Airport. Thank you.
Minima. Going half a dot below. Minima 200. Moving side, landing.
Pakistan is a land of possibilities. It is a land of opportunities. One can hear the 21st century knocking on its doors. New economic policies have made this region the hub of an industrial revolution. Pakistan is situated in a most important geographical region. Pakistan is geographically located almost midway between the East and the West. It has a very special geographical and historical position. It is poised at the junction of West Asia and South Asia. In the West are the Muslim countries and Europe. In the East are some very populous states. And in the North, the Central Asian republics. Russia, Afghanistan and China are all within practical reach. The ports on its 1,000-kilometer-long coastline are the most natural outlets for the movement of products by sea. Pakistan is the 9th biggest country in the world in terms of population. Its total population is 117 million. Its total area of 800,000 square kilometers is equal to the combined area of France and the United Kingdom. Pakistan has 4 provinces. Every province has some very distinct and peculiar features. The province of Sindh has vast deserts, lush croplands, and a beautiful coastline on which are located the 2 busiest seaports of Asia, Bin Qasim and the port of Karachi. Punjab, the land of 5 rivers, has vast farmlands, orchards and lush green pastures. Balochistan, the fruit bowl of the country, has some of the loveliest valleys and forests. The northwest frontier province is the home of snow-covered peaks, green valleys and fast-moving rivers which are famous throughout the world for their scenic grandeur. Islamabad, the capital of Pakistan, is among the most beautiful capitals in the world. Shah Faisal Mosque, with the Margala Hills in the background, is a masterpiece which incorporates some of the most dynamic and bold concepts of modern architecture. Karachi is the biggest center of trade and commerce in the country. Lahore is the heart of Pakistan and a repository of some of the most glorious aspects of our history. Peshawar is the gateway to Central Asia. Quetta is the nerve center of the Balochistan province, which is rich in mineral wealth. Pakistan is a small but beautiful world. The variety of landscape here is as much as it is in a whole continent. Sea accounts for 30% of the total area of Pakistan. Nature has been particularly kind to Pakistan and has showered its bounties upon it rather generously. The sea is a new world for every explorer. According to the Food and Agriculture Organization, sea in Pakistan is the richest of all the seas of the world. The sea yields on an average 10 times more than seas in other countries. There are rich deposits of minerals in the waters of the sea here. Opportunities and possibilities for foreign investors in Pakistan are almost limitless. Pakistan is basically an agricultural country. Its canal irrigation system is the biggest artificial irrigation system in the world. Terbela Dam is the biggest earth-filled dam in the world. Wheat, rice and cotton are the major crops of the country. Pakistan is called the land of the silver fiber on account of the excellent quality of cotton that grows here. Pakistan is one of the biggest exporters of cotton, cotton yarn and cotton made-ups. There are some 58 industrial estates in the 4 provinces of the country. In addition, 12 new industrial investment zones are being set up. In the export processing zone in Karachi, 229 industrial units have been established at a cost of $210 million. The Export Processing Zone Authority was established to plan, develop, manage and operate free zones and to invite and help foreign investors find new business horizons. The areas which make up the present-day Pakistan have fed international markets with their produce for thousands of years. The Silk Route was an important link between the East and the West in the ancient times. On this very route, the 753-kilometer-long Karakoram Highway has been built. The KKH begins at Havelia, 62 miles from Islamabad. It crosses the enchanting Hunza Valley and goes over the 16,000 feet high Khunjara Pass into China. It is the highest road in the world which is used for commercial purposes. This region, in every phase of history, has been of compelling attraction for the outside world. All the major airlines in the world fly to Pakistan. 5 airports of Pakistan, namely Karachi, Lahore, Islamabad, Peshawar and Quetta, are serving as international gateways. Pakistan is almost a second home for foreigners. Thousands of foreigners arrive in Pakistan by the national flag carrier and by foreign airlines. The people of Pakistan are hospitable by nature. They respect foreigners. In many areas of activities, foreigners get more concessions than our own people get. The foreigners in Pakistan are leading a very full and secure existence. The extremely effective communication system, the facilities for fax, the existence of mobile telephone system, and the dish antennas which allow foreign nationals and Pakistanis to watch television programs from Europe, America, and the Far East do not let them feel isolated.
As the money moves, keep ahead with World's Business Reports. On the BBC Now, open space.
Tokyo stocks. That market still caught in a spiral of very heavy selling. Overnight, the Nikkei average plunged almost 3% to yet another 6-year low. Todd Benjamin has the details from Tokyo.
They can always communicate to and receive communication from any part of the world, 24 hours of the day. There is great diversity of cultures in Pakistan. One can see color, gaiety, and high spirits of the people everywhere. Life is full of interest, happiness, and joy. Pakistanis are good sportsmen. Practically every kind of major sport is played here. Polo is played vigorously in the northern areas of the country. Pakistan is the world champion in squash. No other country has won the world championship as many times as Pakistan has. Jahangir Khan was the world champion in squash for a record 10 times. Now, Jansher Khan is the reigning world champion. Hockey is the national sport of Pakistan. Pakistan has been both the Olympic champion thrice and the World Cup holder 3 times. It has won the PIA Champions Trophy World Hockey Tournament twice. It is the only country in the world to have attained this distinction. Now, Pakistan is the world cricket champion. It defeated England in the final to win the World Cup 1992 to the delight of Pakistanis and millions of their well-wishers throughout the world.
Very cool customer, but he's going to savor every moment of this.
Butted on to all the preparation overseas they're doing.
More than 200 multinational group of companies are already present in Pakistan. They're doing good business here. Several hundred branches of 18 foreign banks are already doing business in Pakistan. Karachi is the most important international airport in the country. The Jinnah terminal is the ultimate in airport construction technology. It has been designed to cope with the enhanced pressure of air traffic. Latest technology has been made use of for providing maximum comfort to the passengers. In the exports from and imports into Pakistan, PIA plays a vital role. Its alert staff and crew are helpful in ensuring a smooth flow of trade and traffic.
So keep your seatbelt fastened.
PIA is our national airline. A vast network of flights knit together 35 domestic destinations. PIA touches 43 cities in almost all the continents of the world. PIA has always been a torch-bearer. PIA started the first ever air service among foreign airlines to Tashkent, the capital of Uzbekistan, soon after the Central Asian state attained independence. Uzbekistan Airways touched Karachi Airport for the first time in 1992. It was their first ever flight to a foreign country. Pakistan is a tourist's delight. Lahore, the capital of the province of Punjab, has some of the finest monuments of the Mughal period. Resplendent, glorious, outstanding. They've moved people to poetry. Badshahi Mosque is one of the biggest mosques in the world. Built in red stone and marble, it is an outstanding landmark which draws visitors from all over the world towards it. It is a glorious architectural masterpiece of the Mughal period. The tastefully built Shalimar Garden is the finest terraced garden in the world today. The Lahore Fort, with its numerous pavilions, chambers, galleries, fountains and lawns, is very rewarding from the point of view of a tourist. The Sheesh Mahal has some of the most marvelous mirror work inside it. Lahore is a city of fountains and gardens. Quetta is the home of the proud traditions of hospitality of the locals, of the beautiful Swat Valley and the Hanna Lake. Flying PIA out of Islamabad, we can lose ourselves in the infinite beauty of nature. From Islamabad, in the northeast, 45 minutes by air, is the beautiful city of Peshawar, the capital of the NWFP. 18 kilometers from Peshawar is the historic Khyber Pass, through which many foreign conquerors with their armies have marched into this region. In the north of Peshawar is the enchanting valley of Chitral, only 55 minutes away by a PIA's flight from Peshawar. The peak of Trichmir is 7,690 meters high. It is the highest peak in the Hindu Kush range. In Chitral, women of the Kalash tribe don a unique dress. The headgear and the black robe they wear is very unusual. Their customs and traditions set them apart from all other people. Karan is a beautiful valley which provides ideal opportunities for trekking and trout fishing. No excursion to Karan Valley is complete without a visit to Lake Saif al-Muluk. Karan can be reached by road from Islamabad, a distance of 193 kilometers. In the northeast of Islamabad is the beautiful valley of Gilgit. One finds interesting relics from the Buddhist period here. Flying time to Gilgit, 70 minutes. In Gilgit, the 7,788 meters high Rakaposhi Peak looks like a mass of frosted silver from a distance. Karakoram Highway passes through the majestically beautiful Karakoram Mountains. The valley of Hunza, adjacent to Gilgit, is known for the longevity of its people, who perhaps live longer than people anywhere else live. A journey to Skardu invariably leaves pleasant memories behind. Flying time to Skardu from Islamabad is about 1 hour. The 8,126 meters high Nanga Parbat and K2 can be seen clearly during flights to both Gilgit and Skardu.
For the left-hand passengers, you can see the great Nanga Parbat. We are flying almost abreast of it and are going to put on a left-hand turn. As we do so, you will see the Rupal sign. The Rupal sign side of the great Nanga Parbat, the Killer Mountain.
The 8,611-meter-high K2, the second highest mountain peak in the world, brings dozens of expeditions every year to it. The clear water Satpara Lake can be seen from the air to one's advantage. Satpara and Kachura are two beautiful clear water lakes that the Karakoram range of mountains nestles in its lap. In Skardu, Shangri-La is a veritable paradise on earth. From Islamabad, it is a 50-minute drive to the Queen of Hill Stations, Murree, which is perhaps the most popular destination among the tourists today. A little away from Murree is the dreamlike Patriata, where chairlifts have been installed and other facilities for tourists have been brought into existence. Pakistan is entering the 21st century with a new poise and confidence. A new sun is already on its horizon. A whole new world of opportunities is awaiting you. Pakistan will own you up. It has to, because that has been its way, always.